Steven,
What's going on, buddy?
I want to start by wishing a very, very happy birthday to my buddy, your buddy, everybody's buddy, Matt Humans. Happy birthday today, huh?
51.
Over.
Okay. Well, I'm always going to guess younger, unless it's Willie, and then I'll guess over. Willie, 60.
I guess over 51, but I don't know. Humans is an enigma, to say the least. We've all been out with humans. We've all seen what goes in that body.
I don't understand.
I don't know how he does it. He is one of my favorite people on planet Earth, though, and I texted him today, as I always do, and he responded with, "Thanks, buddy. I stopped counting."
Kid's gonna.
I like that.
Kid's gonna end up in the Smithsonian when he goes.
An ancient artifact.
Definitely.
Breaking our rules of food intake. Give me your take on the bracket, especially college football bracket, especially Oregon, because they got a really tough road to hoe here. Does this hurt their chances on the future tickets to win the title? And then how do you combat that?
Well, we will find out for sure if they're the best team in the country. There's no doubt about it, because the path is unbelievably tough. I would go as far as to say, if you approached Dan Lanning, Ducks head coach, with envelope 1 and envelope 2 and said, pick which one you want. And the first envelope had Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas. And the second envelope had Boise State, Penn State, Notre Dame. I assure you he would take the latter. I think we all would. I have my power ratings right here. So my top 5 teams in the country, in order, are Oregon number 1, number 2 Georgia, 3 Texas, 4 Ohio State, 5 Tennessee. Oregon has 3 of the top 4 in their bracket. So it's not fair. And Joe Klatt has said as much, and a lot of my peers in this space have said as much. I think a traditional bracket would be easier. A reseeding would be easier after the first round. But, man, are they going to earn it if they win this national championship? And you know what's funny? We talked about this last week, and I said the number 5 seed is the best. 5 is the best seed to be. 5 or 6, I guess, if you really look at it that way. Guess who went to co-favorites to win the title? Number 5, Texas. There you go.
And, Sammy P, you mentioned your power ratings. There's a site that I really, it's a very obscure site, but I really like, it's very, because of the simplicity of being able to find stuff, but their schedule of strength, I'll abide by it when I do my handicapping, and it doesn't fail me. And in order, without going all the way to 18, because that's where Oregon is, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, top 5, but 2 of those 3 in the path of Oregon. When it gets to this point in any college, or even the NFL, schedule of strength matters. I don't see a Big Ten team until 9th, and then after that, 14th with Michigan. So point is, schedule of strength. Georgia and Texas have seen a much tougher schedule this season and have been more battle-tested going in, is my sort of take.
No doubt. Let me guess. Is number 9 Ohio State, Willie?
Yeah.
It's got to be, yeah, because Ohio State played Penn State, Oregon, Indiana. So they'd have to be, by default, they'd have to be the team that faced the toughest schedule. Honest, though, guys, I mean, this is a really weak year. There's no elite team in this country. And my top 4 teams, I gave them to you in order: Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, are separated by all of 3 points. So if Oregon were to play Ohio State again, I think the number should be 3.5. Will it open higher? Maybe a smidge. Maybe it's Oregon 4. But there will be sharps that would bet Ohio State +4. And I saw Barry Horse, who's a very respected bettor and a professional, to say the least. He said that he makes 2019 LSU. That's the Burrow team with Chase and Jefferson and Edwards-Helaire and Randy Moss's kid and a bunch of studs on defense. He said he would make that team 2 touchdowns on any of these teams right now. So that just gives you some historical context on how great that team was and how watered down this season has been. And also, guys, let's think about the Heisman Trophy. All these quarterbacks that were supposed to dominate this year, Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck, who has played himself out of a first-round pick, at least as of now, and now he's hurt. Dylan Gabriel put up numbers, but he's not winning the Heisman. It's a year where you're going to have either a cornerback or a Mountain West running back win the award. That's where we're at. It's been a watered down season with no dominant team. And honestly, I can make a case for 5 or 6 teams to win the playoff. And I actually bet, people are going to laugh, I bet Notre Dame at 11-1. Why not? You don't see Oregon, you don't see Texas, Ohio State, or Tennessee until the title game. And you face a Georgia team on the backup quarterback. I think 11-1 on Notre Dame is extremely live. Could they lose to Indiana? Of course. Could they go to the final? Yes.
2 words, I need your thoughts. Arizona State.
Playing really well right now. I love their coach. Look at how they finish. And a lot like Notre Dame, where they've been destroying teams down the stretch. I mean, look at these final scores.
Yep.
There was a close game against BYU, which we understand, 28-23. 42-21, 24-14, 49-7, and then to beat a Matt Campbell team 45-19 in a conference championship. Insanity. All that said, Willie, as good as they've played, I still, let me see my numbers right here. I have Clemson equal to Arizona State. Same number, 119. So in this bracket, Texas is 11.5 on Clemson. Let's remove the home field. Texas will still be a 5.5, 6-point favorite on Arizona State. That's how big of a gap I have between Texas and ASU. I like their quarterback, Levitt. He's played well. I love their offensive line. Who doesn't love Scatabo, the running back? Just a huge gap in talent, though. And I have a hard time believing, A, they get past Texas, and if they do, B, they could beat Oregon. I don't see it.
Sammy P is with us from BetQ, Allen Cofield and Company. I guess what I can't mesh is the comments a couple moments ago about it's watered down, and yet this first round, the smallest favorite is -7. I look at college football this year and how balanced it's been. I'll take all 4 dogs in this first round.
To win or to cover?
Just to cover this game. Yeah, just to cover, be in the game or win.
I understand it. It's been a favorites year in both college and the NFL. I look no further than my spreadsheet to figure that out. I'm a dog player, and I'm about even this year. I'm actually down a little bit, which is annoying. October was just brutal. Every favorite, Saturday, Sunday, just covered. It felt like, at least. You're going to see some support for SMU. You will also see support for Indiana. I think the Texas number is a little bit high as well. 11 is a lot. I also don't know how Ohio State's going to be bet closer to kick. The early money came in on the Buckeyes. They laid 7 up to 7.5. Circa Superbook 7.5, South Point 8. So the push early on Ohio State. Imagine we do see some money on the Vols, though, if it gets 8.5, 9. This will also be very popular, and I'm sure there are some listeners driving around Vegas thinking about this. Look at all these spreads, to your point. 7.5, 8, 7.5, 11. People are going to moneyline parlay these favorites. And if you do all 4 of them right now, plus 195. I think it's silly to parlay 4 moneyline favorites, but it also might win. And that's a big fear for a lot of these books. I was talking with John Murray, Ed Salmons. I talked to some of the guys at Circa. They feel the same way. They feel like they're going to get a lot of action, whether it be Penn State to Ohio State, Notre Dame to Texas, 3 of the 4 or 4 of the 4. People are going to moneyline parlay the favorites, and the books need one of them, just one of them, to go down outright.
How was the Simpsons NFL?
It was fine. I did flip it off after the first quarter, though. I can only watch so much. I also saw a clip after the fact because we all saw the play where Dallas blocks the punt and then muffs the punt in the same 5-second window, and then Cincinnati recovers it. Watching that clip, the cartoon didn't know what to do with the play. So if you were watching the game live, it was basically the ball gets blocked, and then it falls down, and then a bunch of cartoons roll around in circles and then fall on the ball. So probably not the best game to watch and sweat.
Yeah.
I also know this. The latency was very late. That was about 2.5 minutes behind the real feed. So if you were watching Simpsons broadcast and live betting, it was not ideal for you.
How do we react to the Chiefs being on a heater of 0-7 ATS?
They're due eventually, are they not?
I mean,
They're due.
crazy.
I saw that stat too. They have had 3 kickers knock a game-winning field goal in as time expired. 3. Butker, Schrader, Knight. I believe the kid Knight, Matthew Knight. That's never happened before in the history of the NFL. And isn't it 15 straight one-score games they've won? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're going to cover eventually, Steve. People keep saying they stink and they're soft and they're going to lose in the first round. Oh, they're only laying 4 against an awful Cleveland Browns team right now. That's it. That's the spread. 4. Cleveland's 3-10. I would not be taking Cleveland. Eventually, the Chiefs are going to blow somebody out. It probably is this Sunday.
I saw that you guys on BetQL were talking about, and we're talking to Sammy P. We're talking about Survivor strategy. Where is Circa Survivor right now? And this week is interesting because there's one mega line like, hey, automatic Ravens. Maybe someone has the Ravens left. I would doubt it. But a lot of the lines are basically inside of 5.5. So this is not an easy week.
51 left in Circa Survivor. Only one person knocked out. Tennessee knocked out one entry. You're going to see a lot of people bet 2 teams. They're going to bet Baltimore this week, and they're also going to play Minnesota against Chicago. Chicago has not won a road game in this regime. Now, Eberflus is gone. But, well, that's a Monday night game. I take that back. They haven't won a road Sunday game since 2021. This is Monday, so I guess that stat doesn't apply. But do you think Chicago's going to go into Minnesota and knock off the Vikings? I don't. Those will be the 2 popular leagues, Baltimore and Minnesota. And honestly, at this point, Steve, just survive in advance. You got 4 weeks left to go. Just pick a winner, man.
One final wild card topic at the end of our discussion with Sam Panayotovich. What is the believability of Bill Belichick actually committing to North Carolina?
I think it's going to happen. I also was checking out a tweet from his girlfriend. Some reporter follows Belichick's girlfriend, who today followed University of North Carolina on Instagram, UNC football on Instagram, and the UNC football nutrition page on Instagram. Oh. I don't think that's a coincidence. He is trying to roll the red carpet out for his son, Steve. That looks like it's going to happen. I don't know about going from a 73-year-old head coach to a 72-year-old head coach, but yeah, Belichick wants to be on the sidelines, man. He does. That much is clear.
All right, Sam. There's too many jokes about the girlfriend and college, and like what's unnatural about doing that? I guess specifically North Carolina. Those raise the red flag. So, Sam, have a good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you next week.
You got it. See you guys.
There he is, Sam Panayotovich. Like I said, I will go all 4 dogs. I'll explain it on the other side in this first round of the college football playoffs. I do not have confidence in these favorites.